With club volleyball just around the corner, this can be a super stressful time for any volleyball player looking to make their club's ones team. At the end of the day, a tryout for any type of team can be absolutely nerve-wracking for athletes. And as a player who went through 6 years of club volleyball experience, I have some tips and tricks that not only will ensure you make your volleyball club team, it'll allow you to take this next club volleyball season and become the best possible player you can be. So without further ado, I'm PME Volleyball and I'm here to teach you how to make your club volleyball team. If you could do me a huge favor and leave a like on today's video, that would be greatly appreciated. Comment down below what you think of the new setup. As you might be able to tell from what's behind me, I am currently working on setting up my brand new studio that I will be shooting all of my PME Volleyball how-to tips and tricks tutorial videos in, and I'm super excited about it. I would say that this space is around 30 to 40% completed, and I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like when I'm all set up moving in. If you could do me a huge favor and comment down below anything you think I should add to the PME Volleyball studio, please let me know. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are on the road to 250,000 subscribers, and we make content all about volleyball, pretty much everything volleyball. So with all of that being said, let's hop straight into the video. Before I teach you how to make your club volleyball team, let me talk to you about PME Volleyball merch. I have partnered with my friends over at JUMPLETE to bring you guys some of the best, most high quality PME Volleyball merch available. In the first merch drop, we have officially launched the PME Volleyball jersey, which I am wearing right now. We only made a very limited supply of these jerseys and they are going fast. So if you want to get a PME Volleyball jersey, I'd head to the link in the description of this video and get one before they are gone forever. The other thing we brought back were these PME Volleyball socks. As you can see, I am holding a pair right here, and I will say without a doubt, JUMPLETE makes some of the best, most high quality socks to play volleyball in. They add for some extra compression and super comfortable. I highly recommend you go check out JUMPLETE.com and order yourself a pair of PME Volleyball socks and a jersey if you want. Both links for the PME Volleyball merch will be in the description of this video, and with the merch plug out of the way, let's talk about how you make your club volleyball team. The first thing that you need to keep in mind when you're heading to your club volleyball tryout is showing up early. And what I don't mean is showing up 5 minutes early. If I were you, I would show up to my club volleyball tryout at least a half an hour early. This is a completely strategical move for every volleyball player out there. Not only does it give you plenty of time to get your shoes on, get all of your volleyball gear on, etc., etc., it also gives you extra time to stretch and loosen out so you can make sure that you are at 100% come the start of the actual tryout. This is a great way to not only physically but mentally prepare for the tryout that you are about to embark in. And plus, volleyball coaches absolutely love to see their players showing up not only on time, but early. You need to know that all volleyball coaches out there are paying attention to this type of thing. So with that in mind, I would absolutely say that you need to take advantage of this and show up at least a half an hour early. Tip number 2, make sure you get the proper nutrition before your tryout. Before going into your club volleyball tryout, I would definitely keep in mind what you are eating and drinking beforehand. If you did not know this, nutrition is so important, not only when it comes to the sport of volleyball, but athletics in general. Some of the best athletes to have ever been great in their respected sports make sure that they are eating and drinking what's right on a daily basis. So this might seem pretty obvious, but you do not want to show up to your club volleyball tryouts on a stomach full of McDonald's fries and milkshakes. On the other hand, it's also not healthy to show up to tryouts with an empty stomach. So what I would do the morning of your club volleyball tryout is make sure you get a hearty full breakfast. For me personally, what a good breakfast would look like would be some sort of combination of eggs, a grain, and maybe even some yogurt. As good as pancakes and syrup might taste on any other day, I would not eat this before trying out for the volleyball team. Likewise, your hydration is equally as important as what you are eating on a daily basis. One of the easiest fixes that you can make for your volleyball career is just simply making sure that you are staying hydrated. This means that you are drinking throughout the day maybe 2, 3, even 4 bottles of water every single day. So keeping that in mind, while I'm eating my good healthy breakfast ahead of my tryout, I'm also going to be drinking at least 1 bottle of water with it. On the way to the tryout, you should be sipping on another bottle of water, and then when you get there, you should be filling up your water bottle in preparation for the actual tryout about to begin. Guys, remember, every volleyball player watching this video needs to understand that their body is a temple, and you wouldn't want to trash a temple, so make sure you are treating your body right. Tip number 3 for volleyball tryouts, make sure you are trying out for multiple teams/age groups. I personally believe that every single volleyball player should be looking to make the best possible volleyball team that they can. And for the majority majority of players, what I see them doing is only trying out for one club or one volleyball team. If you have the opportunity to try out for multiple clubs in your area, I would highly recommend that you do so. If you even want to get a little bit more bold, what I recommend you do is try out for an age group above the one that you're currently playing at. So if I'm trying out for a 17s level volleyball club, I should also be trying out for an 18s level volleyball club. The reason I say all of this is very simple. I believe that in order to become the best possible volleyball player that you can be, you need to constantly be surrounding yourself with other great volleyball players. So let me draw up a scenario for you. Let's say you try out for two different club teams, PME Elite and Tobias Crick Academy. You get an offer from both club teams, although you are fully aware that at PME Elite, the players on that team are not nearly as good as the ones at Tobias Crick Academy. So although you might be guaranteed a ton of playing time playing for PME Elite, at Tobias Crick Academy, you are constantly going to be fighting for every minute you step on that court. Let me know down in the comments which volleyball team you are joining, but I highly recommend that you join Tobias Crick Academy. This is because the reality of club volleyball is as follows. You might be going to 3, 4, 5 tournaments a year, but the majority of the volleyball that you play at that club team will be spent practicing. I think there's so much more value in having good practices against good players rather than the actual development you get from in-game tournament reps. This is definitely a mistake and something that I wish I could get back in my volleyball career. Since I was a little bit young for my class, going into my senior year of high school, I had a decision to make. For my club, I had the choice between either playing for the 17s team or the 18s team. I was fully aware that the 18s team had a lot better players than the 17s team. But what I ultimately ended up deciding to do was play for that 17s team for my senior year. And although I never ended up stepping off the court when it came to tournaments, I would say for certain that I definitely missed out on a lot of development I could have had as a volleyball player. And if I could go back in time, I most definitely would have chosen the 18s team over the 17s team. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure every volleyball player watching this video will have the opportunity to make a travel club team if they want to. But what I recommend you do is surround yourself with the most talented players at the highest competition volleyball team that you end up making. This might be the push that you need in order to become an elite volleyball player. Tip number 4, know your value and what you bring to the table. Before going into your volleyball tryout, I highly recommend that you identify the 2 skills that you are best at on the volleyball court. For me personally, that was always my setting and my blocking abilities. Volleyball coaches at tryouts are always looking for those standout players that excel at certain skills. So what I recommend you do is identify those skills that you are really good at yourself and prepare yourself mentally to do as best as you can in the drills that focus around such skills. I think that this is honestly a great way to mentally prepare for your volleyball tryout. Every single volleyball team, in fact, every single team really, is just a blank slate that coaches are looking to fill with the proper players that have the right skills in order to make that team as successful as they possibly can be. And because volleyball coaches are looking for a variety of different things, such as defense, serve receive, serving, and hitting the volleyball players are always looking for the players that stand out at certain skills. So make sure you have identified the skills that you excel at and bring that value with you come time to try out. Tip number 5 honestly might be the most important tip I can offer in this entire video, and that's understanding your volleyball club's policies. All volleyball clubs out there are operated differently. For some of the best volleyball clubs, it's very cutthroat and they're taking the best of the best volleyball players in order to find success at a team level. And for other volleyball clubs, sometimes they're taking a more relaxed approach where they are just looking to get the best development out of every single volleyball player on that club team. And the biggest thing that I want you to understand as a player before you sign up for a travel volleyball team is the team's playing time philosophy. I will say that the club I played for did not do a great job explaining this philosophy and their policies as a whole club and organization. I think me and a couple of other players on that team expected that we would always be putting out our best lineup possible in order to be successful. And what ended up happening was our coach played everyone equally. And although this would not have been that big of a deal if at the beginning of the year this was explained that this was the approach they were going to be taking for the upcoming season, we never had that meeting as a team. So it led to some frustrations and conflicts between me and my coaches because our expectations for what we were going into these tournaments to do weren't on the same page. So I recommend that you fully understand what your club policies are, especially when it comes to playing time. Is your club team going to be one that is going to win at all costs and put out the best possible lineup to give your team success? Or is your club experience going to be more of an all-in where everybody gets to play and grow at the same time? I have no problem with either of these club volleyball team approaches as long as the club takes time to clearly explain to the players what their vision is going to be. Tip number 6, when you show up to that club volleyball tryout, I just want you to play your game. You don't need to be a superhero at your club volleyball tryout. You just need to show the coaches the best version of yourself. And if you make a mistake, that's okay, because because guess what? The game of volleyball is all about making mistakes. The winner of a volleyball match usually is just the team that makes less volleyball mistakes. But what I mean by not being a superhero is all of a sudden trying skills that you have never done before in your volleyball career at volleyball tryouts. Like if you are a setter and you are not a jump setter, there's no reason to start jump setting come your volleyball tryout. It's the same thing with serving. If you're predominantly a float server, you do not need to break out your topper right when it comes for volleyball tryouts. It's important just to show the best possible version of you. There's no need to try and do anything extra. Don't get fancy with it. Just play the best version of volleyball that you can. And just remember, a volleyball tryout is not a time to try out something new. Tip number 7, show a basic understanding of multiple volleyball skills. Volleyball coaches absolutely love players that are well-rounded with all of the skills in volleyball and have a variety of things that they offer and bring to the table. On the other hand, volleyball coaches don't particularly take well to one-trick ponies, players that are only really good at one skill. Most volleyball tryout drills are usually done by different positions and different skills. So if you have played multiple volleyball positions in the past, what I recommend you do is try out for multiple volleyball positions. If you have the ability to not only set the ball but hit the volleyball as well, show your volleyball coaches that you can set and hit the volleyball. I see a lot more volleyball offenses these days being run via a 6-2 format rather than a 5-1. So show your volleyball coaches that you have a basic understanding of not one, not two, but like 3 or 4 skills. At the end of the day, volleyball coaches are looking for players with value, and this is a way to increase your volleyball value. Tip number 8 is breathing. And what I mean by breathing is not letting nerves ultimately dictate your performance of your volleyball tryout. It is very normal to be nervous during a volleyball tryout. I was constantly. I was one of the better volleyball players on the entire island that I lived on, going into my junior and senior year volleyball campaigns. And although I knew that I would make a club team of some sort, I was constantly nervous stepping into the gym for those tryouts. What you need to understand is that probably every single other volleyball player trying out for that team is also to some degree or another a little bit nervous. It is completely normal to feel these emotions to some degree or another, but do not let them take control. Remember that you are a good volleyball player and play with plenty of confidence, and that'll absolutely affect your performance at volleyball tryouts. The last tip that I have preparing for your volleyball tryouts is, well, preparing for your volleyball tryout. You will know a couple of months in advance when your volleyball tryout is going to be. So take that 30 to 60 days before your volleyball tryout and prepare for it. What I would be doing leading up to my tryout is working out, playing a ton of outdoor volleyball, make sure I'm eating right, and studying the game. Working out is the best possible way that you can become a stronger, quicker, more agile, and bouncier volleyball player. So it would probably be in your best interest to make sure you're working out like 3 to 5 times a week. I touched on this earlier, but make sure that you are drinking enough water every day and try your best to eat clean. It's okay to have a sweet treat once in a while. I mean, I do it all the time. But the majority of the foods that you should be eating should be clean and good for you, not bad for you. Playing outdoor volleyball is a great way to improve at all of the skills in the game of volleyball. I highly recommend, whether that's beach or grass, get out there and play some outdoor volleyball. It'll help you become a better volleyball player. And then the last thing I would recommend doing is watching professionals play volleyball. They are the best of the best at what they do in the entire world. So taking the time to watch them perform their skills on big stages will absolutely help you become a better volleyball player. All you need to do is find a YouTube video of a game from this past year's Olympics, and it could teach you so much about your position and how to play it to the best of your ability. And the last extra bonus tip I will say is go out there and just have fun. Volleyball should always be fun and never feel like a burden, and I highly recommend that if volleyball ever becomes a burden from you, you just take a little break. Go put the volleyball down and find something else that you are passionate about and come back to it when you are ready. It'll always be there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure to do me a huge favor and leave a thumbs up on it. Comment down below what the most helpful piece of advice was and the club volleyball team that you were trying out for. And then later you can come back to that comment and let me know if these tips helped you make the volleyball team. I am rooting for each and every one of you as you are going into your club volleyball tryouts. Go out there and play your best volleyball. Best of luck to all of you. PME Volleyball is out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We make content pretty much everything about volleyball, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.